ask this question: what is contemporary art? In what way is it different from the art went before? But to answer that question, when? I think most people will say that contemporary art really begins somewhere in the 60s. People sometimes say 1960, and the name Andy Warhol comes up, or they'll say 1968, which is this mythical year of social and cultural revolutions. Different type of cultural revolution in China, but in Europe there was very much a reaction against all traditions, against all establishments. It's a very complex phenomenon. So I've just got back from Europe, and I thought the best thing to do is to begin now, or about 3 weeks ago anyway, and let's see what would have happened if you'd come with me to Venice. Well, you probably have spent a lot of time standing in queues. The Venice Biennale, how many, just out of interest, how many of you have been to a Venice Biennale? It's great fun, but it's very big and very confusing. It's the sort of biannual jamboree where most countries in the world send art to this one very beautiful but very inconvenient town with no roads. And it's a strange experience because in many ways it's like a jamboree, and the opening days are like a party, and it's also a trade fair. It's very, very competitive. And this is true of the art world generally. We're all working together, but we're all competing as well. We're competing for attention, we're competing for jobs, we're competing for sales. And here I am, I'm standing in the queue to get to the English pavilion with an extremely bossy English guard who wouldn't let me jump the queue with my press card. And another aspect of contemporary art, which you probably can't read, fortunately, the Canadian pavilion behind the artist there has put lots of rude words up to irritate people. One aspect of contemporary art is a desire to shock, and that's certainly a very major aspect in England these days. Canada, of course, has always got the reputation of being a very polite and nice country, so the artists try really hard to be difficult and rude sometimes. And you go into the English pavilion and you find no paintings, you find no sculptures. What you find is squalor. You find interiors which look as though refugees or terrorists or people who are doing strange things have been there. There's a broken chandelier. There's a mood of decay. This may not make much sense, but one thing that has changed in the last 30, 40 years are interiors. The great magazine success in England over the last 30, 40 years is a magazine called The World of Interiors. We've got very good at reading interiors. We're all interested in furniture. We're all very rich compared to our grandparents. We have much nicer houses. So we're very attuned to reading interiors. And one thing that this is probably a rucksack which is meant to be for a suicide bomber. That's how you read it. So it's about a mood. It's about going into a room and reading the personality of people there.